Okay, hello, welcome back to Cosmic Cunties. My name is Tiffany, and I am head cunty of the weekly astrology energy that I'm coming to you with. As you're watching this, if you're watching it when it comes out, I am actually in San Francisco visiting my friend, and so I am recording this a week early. But this is specifically going to be for the energies that are happening for September 22nd until September 28th. And with that being said, I actually am going to do something new this week, and I'm a little nervous, but I'm kind of excited. I'm very curious to see how it turns out. I actually think it'll be better than how I typically do things, so we'll see. I don't know. And if you want to comment below which way you prefer, fine by me. You just let me know. And you guys are why I'm here. I'm not doing this for myself. In fact, I said last episode that I will record these and then I literally will be like, wait, what energy is happening today? And have to go back through, sometimes rewatch Cosmic Cunties myself. But yeah, I am here to give you the weekly astrology for the dates I mentioned. I am going to do the karma card pool that I typically do. Oh, I have dog hair in my eye. There, I got it. Awesome. So my intention, before we get into the universe's intention with my card pool, my intention this week for y'all is to let the dust settle and to allow yourself to kind of feel into this transition internally and to start thinking of how you can head in the direction you want to head in now that you see things a little bit more clearly. You're not fully clear this week, but you're seeing things a little bit more clearly because the eclipse finally happened on the 21st. We're out of that eclipse portal. We have the portal shadow still, so some things can still be happening and shaking out. But it's going to be, you're going to start to see, it's kind of like, what are those, it's almost like an Etch-a-Sketch, I guess, because I can't think of the word of what I'm trying to say, but Etch-a-Sketch where, you know, when you would draw a picture and shake it and it would all like disappear. Think of it reverse. Think of it of like, we shake it and then the picture comes through, but you have to shake it a couple times, like sift through it. And so now that you're more aware of things that you're releasing, either internally or externally, you can have a better picture of where you're maybe heading and how you want to spearhead that. And so just kind of like sitting back this week, letting things fizzle out, come clearer into your intention and just sit with it. Yeah. And we're entering into Monday, the 22nd. The sun is entering into Libra. And so we're moving out of Virgo season. Like I said last episode, Virgo season had a big bang. And so this week we are doing finding more balance. Libra is all about balance, all about fairness. And Libras get a bad rap. I've been thinking about this lately. Libras get a bad rap because they're indecisive. That can be the shadow side to Libras. Everything has a shadow side. And I have a Libra moon, so I know all about that. But I've really been thinking more about Libra and how beautiful Libra is. Literally, Libra is about aesthetics and beauty. But it's also, you know, it's the scales and the scales of justice, of course, weighing the two sides of everything, the duality of life. But what's come to me more recently is that there's not just two scales in life. Yes, there's the duality, but when you're balancing things in life, there are so many scales to balance. I mean, just for example, if you have kids, you have to balance the duality of just one of those kids, like children. If you have three, you have to balance the scales of like what's best or what's the right way to go for each of those kids. And that's just if you have kids. I mean, if you have other life decisions to make, you have a lot of scales, and we all have a lot of scales. And so I think Libra really likes to be very intentional. And if they're going to make a decision, they're going to put their head out on the chopping block, then they're going to make damn sure that they have thought it through. And so it's an air sign. It's really much in the mind, but it's also they're able to see all the sides of everything. And there's a lot of sides to a lot of things in life. And so maybe they do get stuck in their heads, but also at the same time, I think they represent surrender, because truly, if you are surrendered, you are saying, I can see it happening any of these ways. I can also see it happening in ways that I can't see myself. And I'm just going to go with the flow and let whatever play out. And I'm just going to be happy-go-lucky in that energy. Yeah, I may be indecisive, but it's because I can see all sides of everything. Or I may be indecisive, but it's because ultimately I'm just a human and I don't know what's best or what can be played out better than I can even imagine. And so I like for us to apply all of that energy now that the sun is transitioning on the 22nd to the next month of our life, and all the information we found from the Eclipse portal. Also Libra is all about partnership and finding balance and collaborations. And so if you know that some things fell away so that you can make room for partnership or collaborations, start to think about how you want that to play out. Start to maybe send those emails or reach out to the people you would like to collaborate with. So, long-winded personal intention for y'all. But that is the one thing I'm changing this week, is I'm just winging it this week. Normally I have like a whole thing like that I've researched and typed out, and I've been like, let me talk to them about this. But I'm just winging it. I've got my planner. I'm seeing how the transits are happening, and I'm going to talk about it. So we've already talked about the main transit, Sun moving into Libra on Monday. But before we move into all the other nitty-gritty day by day, I want to pull some cards. So I've already shuffled these, and this is the karma cards that I received from a tarot swap, which is so fun. I pull 3 cards for the collective intention, and it'll be 1 planet card, 1 sign card, and 1 house card, okay? So first planet sign. Okay, this is just wild. If you've been listening the past weeks, I've pulled Neptune before. Okay, so we're doing actions we can take this week. So spiritually, with Neptune, we got the sign in Aries and in the 9th house. So spiritually, we can inspire others with your willpower as if it or they came from all there is. And then mentally, we can be prepared to sacrifice for what you think you know about the philosophies and laws involved. And then physically, yielding is the only way to do it your own way and do it in a big way. Yielding is the only way to do it your own way and do it in a big way. Okay. I'm trying to process this as I'm reading them. Let's see here. Be prepared to sacrifice for what you think you know about the philosophies and laws involved. I'm hearing surrender in this. I'm hearing surrender and just go with the flow and do what you want to do. Pave your own way. And then I'll flip it and we'll do the outcome if we follow these actions. Spiritually, the idealization of energies to meet the challenge of spiritual values. The idealization of energies to meet the challenge of spiritual values. Mentally, confusion regarding your desires regarding long-range thinking or travel. That's me. I stay in that. Physical sacrifice resulting from the honesty and strength of what is to be shared. Sacrifice resulting from the honesty and strength of what is to be shared. Ooh, I like that. That's all about collaborations to me. So the surrender and the collaborations coming through heavily, which is aligned with the intention I just mentioned. But sacrifice results. So, when you decide to enter into collaborations and partnerships, you are relying on another person to provide something maybe that you used to provide, or to provide something that they're better at providing than maybe you are. And also, you are allowing yourself to receive. And a lot of us are uncomfortable receiving. So trusting in another person and allowing yourself to receive and being willing to have them be a mirror for you, because everyone's a mirror for you. And so kinks that need to be worked out, problems that need to be worked out. That's all going to come forward if you continue to work and collaborate with others in partnership. But I do think when you have more people working on something together, you're going to attract more people. And the whole name of the game, I think, is help as many people in the collective conscious as possible. And so collaborations and partnerships are something to heavily be considered. And if you are having any type of issues within any type of partnership, be it love, familial, friends, business partnerships, that is what I like to do, and I specialize in outside of cosmic cunties and natal chart readings and synastry readings. I actually use synastry readings to help people in their partnerships to go through the mirroring and to talk through the issues and to counsel them through any problems that they might be experiencing, because we're only better together if we can understand all sides of a problem or a story. And my hope is to utilize astrology and spirituality to help people come out closer than they were before, with a deeper understanding of each other than they had before, and so that they can grow closer and more loving and spread that love out into the world. And so if you are interested in any type of spiritual counseling or astrological counseling, synastry chart readings, with any type of partnerships, and I do 3 people, up to 3 people at once, especially for like businesses, or a love triangle, you never know. No judgment here. And yeah, so if you'd like to book those, my website is linked down below, and my Instagram, you can DM me. All right, let's jump into the daily. Okay, so not only is the sun moving into Libra on Monday the 22nd, but it's also fall equinox. And so we're starting to see the seasons officially change. We're already kind of feeling it, at least down in Texas, and I know up north is, especially in the northern hemisphere. And so I am reminding you that this is a season about going inward. So we tend to go inward and reflect back on the seasons that have happened in the previous year, and things that we can reflect upon, things that we can change, things that we want to implement more. But also it's Libra season, so ways that we want to show up in partnership more, ways that we want to collaborate, maybe collaborations or partnerships we want to leave. And it's all about doing that shadow work and allowing the darkness that starts to come. We start to move into the cold, wintry months. But remember that time is when we're planting the seeds. We're shedding what no longer needs to be, cleansing, but we're also starting to plant the seeds and to sow what we're reaping. And so if you have collaborations in mind and partnerships in mind, start to put them out now while we're entering into this fall equinox time, so that when it is pure dark shadow work energy and we're all hibernating, those seeds have been planted. So when it comes time to reemerge, you've done the work, and it's there for you when the season arises. No matter, it depends. Partnerships take different amounts of time. So, and ideas like retreats, for example, take like a year to plan. Also, stay tuned for a retreat. My girl Michelle and I are planning a retreat. I'm praying for Glastonbury. I feel like I have some serious ancestral roots over there, and so very eager to know more about that. Okay, let's see what's going on. Also, we've got Mars moving into Scorpio. So Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet of getting things done. It's also the masculine energy. It's what you like in masculine counterparts, if you like masculine counterparts. But it's also what your masculine energy is like. How do you take action? How do you get shit done? And it's moving into Scorpio. So we're feeling energetically supported to make more moves, take further actions when it comes to spiritual businesses, anything woo-woo related, maybe deeper healing. It is, fall equinox, so we're going in that direction. But also Scorpio rules all taboo topics, death and rebirth. It doesn't have to be literal death and rebirth, but it can be like death of one version of yourself. We are leaving Eclipse portal, so what died? And what are you rebirthing? But also in the same breath, what are you working on that might involve, this is another taboo topic, others' finances. So taxes, inheritance, or are you planning for those things? It's taking action in regards to those, preparing for those types of things. And so it can be an internal working, but it's also a lot more about taking action in the 3D, in those woo-woo topics, those taboo topics. It can be healing, which is internal, but I do find the 12th house is a little bit different than the 8th house, which is Scorpio's health. The 12th house is more about like the unseen healing, the subconscious healing, whereas the 8th house is more about like the physical healing, not so much Virgo, but more like energetic work, energetic cleansings, or, you know, massages to remove certain things. And so I would say taking action to gear yourself up for winter season and for the partnerships. Others' finances, I mean, you could be, or investments, you could be asking for investments for your partnership or collaborations that you're handling. And so this is all aligned. This is all a big, like, Monday the 22nd is like a whole new, turning a new leaf. We also have the moon going to conjunct Mercury. And so we have the moon, which is internal emotions. And then we have Mercury, which is the planet of communication and also transportation. And I believe we just had Mercury move. I'm trying to remember. I think Mercury just moved to Virgo, did it not? And this is the behind the scenes that you get to see. Oh no, it just moved into Libra. Okay. So Mercury moved into Libra, and it's it's conjuncting the moon. And so supporting the sun in Libra, we're feeling a lot of Libra energy on Monday. We're wanting that balance, that just like, kind of like, take it easy, chill. Like, all the dust is settling from this eclipse. We are seeing what's played out. We're feeling into how we want to proceed, especially in Libra season, especially with this new fall equinox. And it's like just kind of relaxing and taking it easy. You know, maybe you are a little bit indifferent right now because you're letting the dust settle. And so our emotions and our ability to speak are supported right now, ability to speak our internal workings, because they're both in the same sign of Libra. And Libra's chill, maybe a little too chill, but take it for what it is. We deserve some chill, right? Like, please give us some breath. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, so let's move to Tuesday. We've got the sun opposing Neptune. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Sun in Libra is opposing Neptune. Neptune is in Aries. It's retrograding in Aries. Neptune is illusions. It is retrograding. So where are you disillusioned? It's also dreams. I like to say it's Venus on crack. It's like a heightened love planet, but in a way that's like, think Pisces. Like, I have a Pisces Venus, so it's very idealistic, like Disney character storyline where you're just dreaming about something and creating these ideal stories in your mind, and it's not really based in reality. And so with that opposing the sun in Libra, we've got kind of this opposition of our essence of where we're wanting to be chill and just take it easy and find this balance. But we're feeling this opposition of where we want to take action on our dreams, where Aries is very much go forward. And it is retrograding. So we are reflecting back on in what ways do we want to take action on our dreams? Are we too in our dreams? Is it too illusioned where we're not being realistic? Or are we just not taking action on our dreams at all? And we're more in the Neptunian energy versus the Aries energy, and like kind of like feeling the opposition of like how we show up in the world. So take that for what that is. I mean, it's not the moon, but it is like our whole essence in being the sun. And so you might be feeling kind of like this Like I want to take action, but I can't. I just want to chill. It's kind of like the dust is settling and you're like, ooh, 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 I see the picture. I see the picture. Oh, 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 I don't, that's is that the picture? And so just like continue to take it chill, take it easy. Then we've got the moon square Jupiter, and that's the void of course moon. So this is like when the moon is actually transitioning between two signs. You don't really want to do any type of like ritual work during that time frame, just a heads up. But the moon, our internal workings, is squaring Jupiter. So squaring is friction, and it's squaring Jupiter, where Jupiter is an expansion. It expands whatever we're feeling when it's aspecting the moon. And with the moon being square and it's in Libra, it's in Libra, but it's kind of transitioning as well. So take it for what it is. I mean, you're going to probably feel like an expansion of indifference. It's probably a continuation of the picture, like the dust settling on the picture and you being like, oh, I see it, but I don't know how I feel about it. And just, again, my advice is to continue to let the dust settle. And I would say for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to keep saying it, but for the next like 2 weeks, so this week and the next week, just see how things are playing out, you know, maybe plant some seeds, but like, don't like put your claws in and make like, this has to happen. And then we've got Sun trining Uranus and Sun trining Pluto. So trine is a positive thing. We've got the Sun in Libra, so it's our essence, and we're feeling that balance. We're feeling like we can finally chill out. We're wanting some collaborations and partnerships to happen. Uranus, though, is unexpected. It's kind of like, it's a little volatile in the way of like ping-ponging back and forth. And so we might feel like, oh, I got to be here. No, I got to be there. Oh, no, I'm going here. And then I got to go there. So it's kind of like a higher energy. And then, and it might be supportive too, because it's trining. So it might be like, oh, I'm busy today. I have to teach yoga in the morning, and then I got to have a client call it right after. And then I got to go have a collaboration meeting. So it's kind of like high energy. But maybe utilize the Sun in Libra to focus on balancing yourself and kind of like keeping it chill. Sun trine Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius. So this is both two air signs working together. So maybe you want to think about more how you can show up, or ideas and ways that you can show up for the collective. Pluto and Aquarius is all about the collective, all about humanity. So maybe you can show up and, I don't know, volunteer somewhere, or think of collaborative ideas where you're going to help a lot more people than just the small group that you typically do, like women. Maybe you're going to expand out into all genders. All right, let's move forward. Wednesday, we have the moon moving into Scorpio. So now we have Mars in Scorpio and the moon in Scorpio. So we have the moon conjunct Mars, and it's going to be feeling like, we are able to take action on our emotions, and we're spicy. Scorpios are so spicy. They're like the one sign that's so comfortable with showing all their emotions. It's like, it doesn't matter what emotion it is, happy, sad, mad, any of them. And then think of like the emotional wheel. Go to emotionwheel.com or emotionalwheel.com. And there are so many emotions, and Scorpios have felt them all to the most deepest extent, and they're comfortable for the most part with all of those, especially more healed Scorpios. And so we may be feeling like we want to take some action on our emotions. Just make sure that you're not taking action while you're feeling the emotion. Our job as humans is to allow ourselves to feel the emotion, to accept the emotion, and to allow the emotion to pass through our bodies, whether that be through movement, any type of movement. My favorite's dancing. But don't just like feel something and then go and act on it in the moment. That's that leads to issues. That leads to throwing your emotions onto somebody else and being their emotional, forcing others to be your emotional stomping ground. That's not fair to other people. So process your emotions and then feel safe to act on your emotions. You're supported with that on Wednesday. And they're going to be probably intense emotions, and that's fine. We also have Mars squaring Pluto and the Moon squaring Pluto. We're probably going to be feeling a lot of like shadowy things coming up. So definitely don't take action on whatever you're feeling. This will be a good day to do shadow work. Pluto is the planet. It's like the underworld, the undertaker. It's coming to shine light on things that are no longer serving you and saying like it's time for you to process these things. And so you're supported in doing your shadow work. Anything that's coming up that maybe it's like, oh, you're still in your ego, or you don't realize that you show up this way with others, within collaborations, within partnership. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, covered all that. All right, moving forward, we've got Thursday the 25th. We have Moon trining Jupiter. So the moon is in Scorpio and it's trining Jupiter. So all those emotions that I said were going to be coming up on Wednesday, and to not act on those emotions unless you've allowed the emotions to clear and you're sure-headed and you know which direction you want to go. Thursday is an expansion of all those emotions. So you're feeling supported in whatever ways you are feeling. It can be negative emotions that you're feeling or shadowy emotions that you're feeling. So my advice to you is, when I mentioned on Wednesday to clear the emotions that you're experiencing before you act on them, do it, because they're going to be expanded upon, good or bad, quote unquote, on Thursday is when they're going to be expanded. So make sure that you're feeling nice and good, yummy and juicy on Thursday. And that way that's what's expanded. Okay, Friday the 26th. Let's move forward here. We have the moon trine Saturn, and it's another void of course moon. So it's when it's transitioning signs, because the moon is going to transition into Sagittarius on Friday. Before it transitions to Sagittarius, it's trining Saturn. So we're going to feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have, felt this way about this topic this week, or maybe I shouldn't feel this way about this situation, or it doesn't do me any good to feel this way. It's daddy discipline, Saturn is. And so when it's trining the moon, it's like, where can we get more like clear and orderly and level-headed and clear-headed in our emotional world. So it's kind of like, put your bootstraps on, like quit whining, but for your own good, like it's like sitting and wallowing in these emotions instead of processing them and clearing them and allowing them to move through your body. We only hold emotions for like a minute and a half. It's the ruminating in the mind that allows the emotions to continue. So stop yourself. And are you ruminating? Then bring in that daddy discipline energy of Saturn. Anyways, we have the moon moving to Sagittarius. That's going to be 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And when that happens, around the same time, the moon is going to be trining Neptune. So we've got the moon in Sagittarius trining Neptune in Aries. This is two fire signs. And so we might be feeling very fiery, wanting to take action, wanting to move forward. It can be move forward on our dreams, which is Neptune. We're wanting to get shit done. Sagittarius loves to get shit done. Sagittarius is big picture thinker, spiritual thinker, overall like global view. And so if you feel supported and know what you want to do, go ahead and move forward on that. We also have the moon opposing Uranus. So that's later in the day. That's 7:13 p.m. Central Standard Time. And around the same exact time, the moon is going to sextile Pluto, and the sun is going to, I don't normally talk about sextiles on cosmic cunties. It's kind of like a little kiss of the energy. It's not, unless you're super sensitive to energies, I am myself, you're not going to feel it, but also they're kind of like little glimmers in the day. Like, and so it might just be like, oh, and then we move on. So anyways, moon opposed Uranus. Moon in Sagittarius opposed Uranus in Gemini. So those are opposites. They are the planets, or like the axis rather, in the astrological chart is of the archetypes is communication. And it's kind of like nitpicky neighborhood communication and getting things done that way versus communicating and getting things done on that global view. So with them opposing and Uranus being kind of like chaotic energy, especially for mental Gemini, like ping-ponging back and forth with these ideas. And then with your heart, it's kind of like your head and heart are opposing each other. Try not to be too hard on yourself. Try to stay out of your mind and try to always lead with your heart. But just make sure that your heart is leading with love and not like rampant emotions that have been created through whatever's going on or your mind. It's a good little pause, a reminder. What is going on in your emotions? Why are your emotions coming up the way that they are? Is it because of something that happened in your life and it's bringing up emotions and your mind is subconsciously connecting it to something in the past, some maybe limiting beliefs you might have about yourself or about the situation or about how you show up in the world or anything? Or is it the emotions you're feeling something that you are just creating in your own mind? It just wasn't even anything that happened in the real world. I know when I sit to monitor my thoughts, a lot of times it is preparing for situations in the future that could happen. That is such my one, living in fight or flight my whole life, mainly fight. And then my attorney, 10 years being an attorney. And I'm like sitting there and thinking of any and all scenarios that could come about, especially for trial. And I'm trying to think of any which way of how to handle it or what I would say. And then next thing I know, I'm living in that moment that's not even happened. And it's like, wow, if I could just stop ruminating and creating scenarios in my mind, I would stop creating these false emotions in my body and I could just allow myself to be in the moment. Life is nowhere else but in this moment. And so really checking out yourself around, what do you see? What do you feel? And what do you taste? What do you smell? And bringing yourself back to the present moment. It's the only moment you have. Life is literally nowhere else but right here. I digress. So Saturday, the 27th, we have the moon in Sagittarius squaring Venus. And we just had Venus move, I believe, into Libra. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Venus moved into Leo. And so let me just keep making sure that it didn't move last week. Mercury moves, but I don't think Venus. Oh, Venus went to Virgo. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. You're seeing behind the scenes of how this shit plays out. Oh, I have lipstick on my teeth. This whole time, the whole time, we're leaving. I'm leaving. We gotta go. If you can name that movie, put it in the comments, please. One of my favorite quotes. No, my favorite quote. No, one of my favorite quotes of all time, but I will tell you guys my favorite quote of all time. It's a one word, the best one-liner I've ever seen delivered in my humble opinion. And it's why I call this weekly astrology cosmic Cunties. I call it because Mina Suvari in the movie American Beauty, she goes, she's arguing with another high schooler, which is funny in itself, but the girl walks away and she just delivers my favorite word of all time so poignantly. And she just goes, cunt. And it's just it's just so good as I'm rubbing the center of this rose and it feels so good. Anyways, I digress. So lipstick on my teeth the whole time, cunt, rubbing this rose, Moon squaring Venus. Venus is in Virgo. This is how my mind works, y'all. Okay, Moon in Sagittarius squaring Venus in Virgo. Venus in Virgo is very much a grounded love. It's very like, it can be perfectionistic. Like, I want to be loved this way and they're not loving me this way. Why not? And it's like, did you even speak and ask for that? You know, it's kind of like check yourself for like, or I want it to be loved this way, but I'm going to stay with this person even though they don't love me this way. And it's like, why? If you've communicated to them what you need and they're not fulfilling it, it's time to go. And the moon squaring this is really, it's friction, and it's asking you to like check in with yourself. How are you feeling in relation? How do you want to be loved? And are you being loved in your relationships the way you want to be loved? If not, are you communicating that? Like, go forward, take charge, be that fiery Sagittarius and communicate, or, you know, kibosh things. All right, last day, Sunday the 28th, we have Moon square Saturn, which is another void, of course, because then on the 29th, the moon is going to move into Capricorn. So same thing that I said that's happening, Moon square Saturn. Oh, it was trine Saturn on Friday. But so this one's even more like, why are you feeling this way? You know, internal, like, you don't need to feel that way. Or it could be external. It could be somebody externally coming to you and being like, you shouldn't feel that way about this situation. Why are you feeling that way? Or you're so hard on yourself, or, you know, don't feel that way, or you should be feeling this way. So just kind of like, I don't know, take it for what it is on Sunday. And that is Cosmic Cunties weekly astrology energy wrap up. Again, my name is Tiffany. I'm a cosmic counselor. I do natal chart readings and synastry readings, and I help people come back to themselves and come back to each other through counseling. And if you are interested, find my website and my Instagram linked down below. And if you guys could let me know what movie that is from, I would love that. And maybe I'll give whoever guesses the movie correctly first in the comments, I will give you a free 20-minute reading. And then, yeah, let me know if you guys liked me ripping off the fly here versus planning it, and if you resonated more energetically with it, or if you'd like me to have it a little bit more planned. I can do either way. I kind of liked this one more, honestly. I'm able to be myself a little bit more. You're able to see what happens and how I think in real time. And I know the shit. I just don't want to forget it when I'm talking to y'all. So I don't need to prepare it. So if you guys vibed with this energy better, let me know. As always, love yourself so much so that you can love out into the world and radiate love out into the world. And the world is simply a reflection of your internal world. So do your internal work and you'll see that reflected in the external world. So love y'all. Thank you for being here.